Hello and welcome to my podcast. I'm your host, Janelle Meredith, and I am so grateful to have you here with me today. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you're a longtime listener, thank you for making this show a part of your day. Before we dive into today's episode, I need to ask for your help. This podcast is a true labor of love, and it exists and grows because of this incredible community, because of you. So, here is my heartfelt plea. If you find any value, connection, or comfort in what we do here, please take just a moment to support us on social media. The single best way to help us grow and reach more people is to follow, like, and share our content. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok by searching for Janelle Meredith and the Autism Wellness Foundation. Every follow, every comment, every share, it helps more than you know. It tells the platforms that what we're doing matters and helps other people find us. It also allows us to connect with you directly, which is the best part of this whole journey. Thank you truly for even considering it. Your support means the world. All right, now let's get into it.
Welcome to today's episode. We're going to take a quick look at a subject that sparked a lot of debate and a fair amount of controversy, the growing rates of autism and some unconventional theories about what could be behind the rise.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here, and I'm looking forward to unpacking some of the bigger ideas surrounding these discussions, especially around vaccines and acetaminophen, better known to most people as Tylenol.
Let's dive right in. So first off, just to frame this a bit, autism rates have jumped dramatically in the last couple of decades. If you go back to 2000, it was something like 1 in every 150 children. Now we're hearing estimates as high as 1 in every 31. That's a huge leap.
It really is, and what's so striking about those numbers is that many experts and commentators are arguing that this increase is happening too quickly for genetics alone to account for it. Instead, they're pointing the finger at environmental triggers, things we're exposed to now that maybe we weren't before.
Right, and part of the conversation, whether you agree with the theory or not, is that some of this information might not be getting as much attention as it could. There's definitely a sense from some voices that we aren't being told the whole story.
Absolutely, that sentiment runs through a lot of the arguments we're going to talk about. So let's look at the first area these sources challenge, vaccines. It's a tough topic because the official position is that vaccines are overwhelmingly safe and studies haven't shown a link to autism. But these critics push back pretty hard on that idea.
Yeah, and I hear a lot about this toxic soup analogy they use for the vaccine schedule, focusing on ingredients like aluminum adjuvants, polysorbate 80, formaldehyde, and so on.
That's right. The claim isn't necessarily that any one of these chemicals on its own, in the tiny doses found in vaccines, is going to cause harm. Instead, they argue it's the combination, the stacking of multiple vaccines, and the cumulative exposures, especially when so many are given in the first few years of life, that hasn't been thoroughly studied.
And this is where Dr. Andrew Wakefield often enters the picture, right? His 1998 study was hugely controversial, claiming a connection between the MMR vaccine and autism.
Exactly. While his work was retracted and widely discredited, those discussing these theories still hold him up as an example of someone who was punished just for reporting what parents were observing in real time.
Okay, so that's one side of the theory, but then the conversation takes an unexpected turn to something way more familiar. Acetaminophen.
Absolutely. Tylenol is seen as one of the safest pain relievers out there, especially for pregnant women or kids with fevers. But in these materials, the narrative really shifts, questioning whether that safety is as solid as we think. They reference a major review from Mount Sinai, a review of 46 different studies, which found a pretty consistent link. Mothers who take acetaminophen during pregnancy seem to have a higher risk of children developing autism or ADHD.
And there's a dose-dependent angle here, right? It's not just any exposure, but higher levels in umbilical cord blood that seem to correlate to higher risk.
That's exactly what they emphasize, a dose-dependent relationship. The more acetaminophen exposure in utero, the stronger the link appeared.
So what's the biological explanation proposed?
The core idea is that acetaminophen acts as a developmental neurotoxin. It can interfere with hormone development in the fetal brain and kick off oxidative stress, a kind of cellular damage that may have long-lasting consequences.
And then comes what they call the two-hit theory, the real heart of this whole argument.
Exactly. Here's how it goes. In a nutshell, the first hit is the vaccine, which creates a strong inflammatory response in the body. Then comes the second hit, acetaminophen. The theory is that giving Tylenol at this point suppresses the body's defenses, specifically by depleting something called glutathione.
Glutathione? That's the master antioxidant, right? Basically, it's like the body's top cleanup crew for dealing with damage.
That's right. By using acetaminophen, you're supposedly lowering the glutathione just when the body most needs it to deal with inflammation, so the developing brain, already under stress, is left that much more vulnerable.
And there are studies cited to support this specific interaction?
Yes, one study from 2008 in the journal Autism is highlighted. It found that children who were given acetaminophen after the MMR vaccine had much higher odds of developing autism later on. And they also mention a shift in recommendations around 2009, when health authorities advised against giving Tylenol before vaccines, because it was discovered that it could blunt the immune response that the vaccine is supposed to trigger. These critics interpret that as a silent acknowledgement that you shouldn't be mixing the two.
So, if we pull this all together, what's the main takeaway these sources are putting forward?
The argument goes like this. What we're seeing isn't some mysterious genetic surge. Instead, it's a predictable result of environmental factors. Specifically, what they allege is a dangerous synergy between vaccines and acetaminophen. And they emphasize that, in their opinion, these combinations haven't been properly studied.
And that leads to really big questions about responsibility and oversight. Are the people in charge of these recommendations doing enough to look at the possible combined effects, especially with treatments and interventions so common that most of us don't even think about them twice?
Exactly. To drive their argument home, they sometimes bring up previous vaccine controversies, like the old DTP shot, and an adverse effect called the encephalitic cry, a high-pitched scream thought to signal brain inflammation. The point they often leave listeners with is this: considering what we've learned from the past, what kinds of safety checks and research should we be demanding today as new treatments and combinations become standard?
It's a thought-provoking question, and whether or not you agree with these conclusions, it underscores the importance of ongoing research, transparency, and keeping an open mind when it comes to public health.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for having me join this discussion. It's always healthy to challenge assumptions and ask tough questions.
Thanks for being here, and to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into questions that matter. Stay curious.
Don't forget to like and share.
Pull out your phone, I'll wait, and find us on all your favorite social media channels. Seriously, this is the most important thing you can do to support the show. Subscribe and join our community to explore the path to wellness together. Learn more and get involved on my website, www.wellautistic.ca. Donate at www.wellautistic.ca/donate. Follow us on Instagram at autism_wellness_foundation. Follow us on Facebook at wellness_AWF. Follow us on TikTok at autism.foundation. Follow us on Threads at autism_wellness_foundation_. I'm pleading with you here. Go hit that follow button. It costs you nothing, but it gives us everything we need to keep this show going and growing. It's the fuel in our engine. So please, follow us, engage with us, and help spread the word. Okay, plea over. Thank you for that.